everybody, welcome back to Crafted by Norma. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make an embellishment for the front of your journal or for a tag or any other embellishment that you want to make using layered paper. It's not my idea, somebody else has obviously done it before, but I've just done it in my style. I thought you might like to see it. So all we're going to be using is an old dictionary page, distress ink glue, water and glycerin mix. So this is the journal that I've gone and what I'm in the process of finishing off, and I've gone and used it as an embellishment on the front of the journal with a bee charm and a little tag there about bees, the queen bees and a working bee. I can go through this the journal again when I've finished it. I'll give you a flip through. So this is what we're going to be using today, is some paper that I've got, a very old and very now tatty looking old dictionary. It's lost its cover, it's very, very tatty, pages are all falling out, and I thought I would use this because I quite like the effect. So this is the paper we're going to be using. This is using coffee stained paper. And I've just gone and used a little tiny bit of the dictionary paper there just to give it a little bit of emphasis into the centre. So that's it with just using the dictionary paper. I've done a tag just to give you an idea of what a tag could look like. A tag there, and also I thought I'd try with circles. Now for me that's a bit flowery. I've just put a brad in the centre there. But it's just giving you another option that you could possibly use. And all I'm going to do is just build up some layers. So I find it easier to start with the smaller one and then build up rather than starting from the larger one and build down. So this is all we're going to do. You can have as many layers or as few layers as you want, and we just tear out to the size that we're going to need. So the next one in this layer, number 4, is just going to be slightly larger than that piece there, and it's quite easy just to rip down. This is a great investment, my rip ruler, because I'm not very good at ripping paper in straight lines at all, where with this it does make it quite easier. And each layer of paper we're going to hopefully have about a 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch difference, just to sort of build up those layers. So that's number 1, 2, 3, 4. That's number 5. We'll just make it 6 for the time scale. There we go. So the next thing to do is, as I said, we had the water and the glycerin. Now glycerin can be picked up from most chemists, or you can buy it online. It's quite cheap. I've had this one ages. There is other uses that can do, but it does seem to change the texture or the makeup of the paper. Now just to make it slightly different, I'm going to put some distress ink down on my glass mat, because I just want the paper to take on a little bit more of an older look than it already has got. You don't have to do this, but I just like to add a little bit of extra colour. So all we're going to do now is just layer all the papers in and give them a good soaking in the paper and ink. And you can see it's just taken on a slightly different colour, more of an older colour. So this one's vintage photo, but you could use any colour that you wanted. And you give it a nice squish and you're picking up all that colour. Whatever you've got left, you can sort of squeeze out. Now again, it does change the texture of the paper, because if I'd have just added just plain water, I think the paper would definitely rip. So there is, it's all scrumpled up, which we want it to be scrumpled up because we want it to have texture. And all we're going to do then is just undo them slowly. It doesn't really matter if you do rip them, because you're going to have them layered up anyway. There we go, lovely jubbly. Oh. We had a really bad thunderstorm last night, and today it's beautiful sunshine, which is quite nice. Oh, there we go. So when we've got them like that, all we're going to do then is get the glue gun and dry them off. This is my pink glue gun, heat gun. Had better days. As you can see, I use an awful lot of black in my mixed media work when I'm doing a lot of steampunk type work. So we quickly dry those off. Now, just to save a little bit of time, I've actually got some that I've already dried off, so I'll show you those for the next step. So these I've done slightly earlier today. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 there, and if we pinch that teeny tiny one from there to go in there, we've got the 7. So all we're going to do now is go around the edges and try and curl them. Give them a little bit more texture around the edges. And again, it doesn't matter if you rip them at this stage. It's all part and parcel of the texture that we're sort of looking for. And again, you can scrumple them up again and turn them round. So once you've got them like that, I normally then will start to glue them on a piece of backing card. This is just a piece of scrap card that I've got lying around, but it just gives it a base to work on. So with my glue, now my PVA glue I normally use is Sea Whites of Brighton PVA glue, which I get from our local art gallery supply shop, Art Fix. Brilliant glue. It's very much like a tacky glue, and so much cheaper than buying the branded glues, but just as good. So it's an all-purpose adhesive, versatile medium, it says. So we're going to put that on there, on the centre, and just pat that down. And at this stage we can just ink round the edges just a little bit, just to give it a bit of colour around the edges. And now I use one of these makeup eggs, I think they're called, and I use this for all my colours, because most of my colours are very, very similar. I have got bigger ones that I use for other projects. So the next one is the next size, so it's quite simple, quite straightforward. We're just going to layer this one up, a little bit of glue like that, and layer it down, give it a bit of a pat, and then again just go around the edges a little bit, curling them as we go. Now the paper at this stage is still a little moist, which is quite handy because it just gives it still that little bit of bendability. And again, just a little bit of glue around the edges, stick it down, and again, because it is still moist, it will take the ink quite well. Just turn it round and keep going until we're quite happy with the way the layers are forming. Same again, a little tiny bit of glue. Now, having the different layers of this particular glue, the centre does go quite stiff, so it does become quite can't say the word durable. Durable, that's the word. Gosh, what am I like this morning? There we go. Just another 2 to go after this one. There we go. And it doesn't make any odds, well I don't think so, but if you want to, if the letterings or the words are upside down, higgledy-piggledy, if you've got pictures, but you can, as I say, you can use any papers whatsoever, any card, just to give your build up. I just particularly like this sort of like shabby chic type look, using these vintage pages. There we go. And then then down to the very last layer. That's it. So you just want to make sure that they're all slowly building into your centre one. And then it's at this stage you can really pull in all the layers to give you the look that we're after. There we go. One layered embellishment ready to go onto any of your work. Put the lid on that, I don't want to dry it out. So as I say, you can use it on tags. You can use different papers, like I've done there, and different embellishments to go on it. So again, on this one that I've done on my front cover, I've used an embellishment of a bee, and I've just put the little dictionary picture that was in the book itself there, just to give you some ideas. Do hope you've enjoyed watching, and we'll have a go at making one of these laced effect layered embellishments. So thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and please do leave any comments. I'm always interested to hear what people think, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again. Thanks, bye.